could possibly make an A-list star with an impressive career spanning 4 decades hold the position of one of the most controversial figures in Hollywood? How can one man hold a special place in the hearts of fans as a sensational actor and still raise concerned eyebrows all at once? Well, that is the uniqueness that qualifies the legendary Tom Cruise, and to answer these questions, we did a little digging around and here's what we found. If you follow movies in any way, then Tom Cruise must have appeared on your screen more than once, from his iconic performance in Risky Business, which shot him to the spotlight, to his jaw-dropping role in Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise has become a household name as one of the movers and shakers of Hollywood. His ability to take on and pull off insane stunts, which are very rare in the industry, is no doubt a pure reflection of his passion for movies. After his brilliant role in Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July, Chicago Sun-Times wrote, his performance is so good that the movie lives through it. Surely only a selected few individuals have or will be able to attain that status before leaving the spotlight. His thrilling persona in movies has made sure that he stays relevant even as eras evolve. Essentially, he is who you would rightly tag a movie star. However, while there is much to admire on the big screens, things aren't exactly picture perfect off-set. In fact, the distance between the comments on his performance and his attitude on a personal level is as far as night and day. No doubt he is a fantastic actor, and we believe he has also made a name for himself as an interesting, controversial figure. It's hardly difficult not to notice certain character traits in him, which leaves you wondering, exactly how perfect can this perfect celebrity be? For this, we'll take you on a journey on the many sides of this mysterious actor. Let's start off with his good side. When it comes to showing kindness and niceness, it is safe to say that the Mission Impossible star has it on lockdown. He is that person who easily fits the description of a nice guy. Co-star Simon Pegg described Tom as a generous, sweet guy who looks after everybody. Chris Pratt even commented once on Tom's nature. One of the career goals I have based on Tom Cruise is his reputation as being a really nice guy, positive guy who works hard. However, while this side of the street views Tom's positive attitude as something to admire, voices on the other side aren't saying the same thing. Many people, particularly his colleagues within the movie industry, believe that his positive attitude is either forced or a mask of something much darker. For them, Tom's attitude, especially off camera, is somewhat unsettling. One of such colleagues, Thandie Newton, who starred alongside Cruise in Mission Impossible 2, described her experience with Tom as a nightmare, especially due to his tendency to become dominant. In her words, I was so scared of Tom. He was a very dominant individual. He tries super hard to be nice. But the pressure, I think he has this sense that only he can do everything as best as it can be done. With this, it is easy to imagine how this experience went for the Emmy-winning star. But can Tom's actions be a simple case of wanting the best for the production? This brings us to the second side of this living icon. The odd. While Tom's passion and dedication to delivering a stellar performance to his audience, his methods of achieving have left many second-guessing his attitude. For example, in the wake of COVID-19 in 2020, an audio recording went viral on social media containing the voice of Tom Cruise, who appeared to be yelling at crew members for breaking COVID rules. While the motive may seem justified, others believe there had to have been a different approach to passing the message along. I mean, there are other ways of correcting work members that do not resemble the tongue-lashing teens receive after missing curfew, right? Interestingly, Tom's odd behavior doesn't just stop at rude outbursts. They extend even to his mannerisms. Now, this is where it starts to get creepy. Tom Cruise's attitude during offset, particularly during interviews, has been nothing but concerning. If you've seen his debut interview with Letterman in 1988, you probably get the hang of what I'm talking about. From the semi-aggressive handshake at the beginning to the seemingly forced laughter, and from the overly friendly attitude to the smile that didn't seem to reach his eyes. All of these simply scream weird. So much that Christian Bale thought Tom Cruise was the best model for his murder character Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. I mean, how do you beat the weirdo allegations when you have a whole murder character developed from your everyday habits? Oddly, not much has changed since 1988, but while we can pass off these interview reactions as simply weird, his opinions on religion cannot be so easily waved off, which leads us to the third side of him, the ugly. The majority of Tom's weird behavior can be traced to his affiliation with a particular ideology, Scientology. Founded by an unsuccessful fiction writer, his ideology believes in the study and handling of the spirit in relationship to itself, universes, and other life. Don't worry, that's just a fancy word for a belief that helps people feel better by talking about past problems and learning to be their best selves. Ever since Tom Cruise joined the Church of Scientology in 1986, he has steadily risen through the ranks to become the poster figure for the entire movement. However, with 3 divorces in his records plus continuous allegations of slave labor, the Scientology movement hasn't really set up a pleasant record, and Tom's vocal opinions in support of the church only set him against the majority who view the movement as more of a cult than a church. The church operates on a system called auditing, which involves an auditor hooking you up to a machine to remove the engrams that cause bad things to happen to you. Now, when you consider it, why should we really care what people choose to believe? It's their life, right? Well, it becomes a problem when you consider a famous quote from the movement's founder. He said, "You don't get rich by writing science fiction. If you want to get rich, start a religion." Considering how much each auditing session costs, one cannot help but wonder whether or not this is the true motive behind the movement. Now, where does Tom fit into all of these? The movie star is not only a firm believer in these crazy ideologies, but also holds one of the highest honors within the church, the Freedom Medal of Valor awarded to him in 2008. His advocacy for the church even goes as far as imploring the government to officially recognize it as a church so it could be exempted from taxes. His stance has made him the subject of numerous controversial debates. One of them was sparked in 2005 after the movie star got into a debate against the use of antidepressant drugs, criticizing a fellow celebrity, Brooke Shields, for promoting the antidepressant to help with postpartum depression and even tagging her as dangerous. Naturally, this remark upset a lot of people who felt it was disrespectful to thousands of women who struggle with their mental health. It even cost him his relationship with Paramount Pictures, who came out to cut ties with him due to his controversies. But the biggest consequence of his affiliation with Scientology was his separation and eventual divorce from his third wife, Katie Holmes. After 2 failed marriages, one would have thought his marriage to the American actress would be different, especially after he publicly confessed his love for her in an interview with Oprah Winfrey. However, the 6-year marriage eventually fell apart, with rumors citing Kate's refusal to embrace Scientology as the major cause of the union's breakup. The breakdown brought to force yet another creepy side to Tom and his beliefs: disconnection. Serving as one of the core pillars of the movement, his ideology requires members to serve relationships with anyone around them who isn't open to the doctrine. In Tom's second marriage, he employed this belief in setting his children against his former wife and eventually gaining custody of them. Having become fully indoctrinated, his children followed his steps by disconnecting from their mother. Fast forward to his third marriage, when it became obvious that the marriage was going to fail, Tom proceeded to shun Katie rather than taking the former route and consequently shut their daughter out of his life. Katie claimed to have filed for divorce to protect her daughter from her father's odd beliefs. Due to Tom's celebrity status within the Scientology movement, the church was said to have had a hand in Tom's inability to keep a stable relationship. After his second divorce, the church arranged for Tom to date several women within the fold through a carefully monitored selection program. This ended up in his brief relationship with British actress Nazani Boniadi, though the latter eventually described the experience as white slavery. Away from the troubles of Tom Cruise's life, the church had bigger battles to fight, or should I say, bigger allegations to disprove. As the actions of their members kept coming out, it became difficult to keep the spotlight away from yet another creepy part of Scientology, the Sea Organization. How crazy. Well, its members sign up for 1 billion years in service for the exploration of time and space. In reality, it's just a form of a contract you sign to do all manner of jobs for $1 an hour for 1 billion years, which is another way of saying forever. It gets interesting when you find out how unproductive members of the Sea Org are rehabilitated. Errant members are enrolled in a project to correct them with different kinds of difficult work, such as being locked in a bamboo cage or digging trenches till late at night. Though the church has tirelessly worked to disprove some of these allegations, the increasing testimonies from ex-members say otherwise, which leads to asking the important question, how is Tom Cruise comfortable with all of this? Is he also involved in these punishments and forced labor? How deep is his involvement in these shady dealings? Is his overly charming persona and passionate career life enough to shield him from being responsible to the public for his ideologies? We would love to hear what you think, so leave us a comment below, and if you like this video, make sure to click and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.